Hello everyone, I'm Lee Kane Jr. with WNY News Now, and now, on to the story.
Hawaii's governor vowed to protect local landowners from being victimized by opportunistic buyers when Maui rebuilt from deadly wildfires that incinerated a historic island community and killed more than 100 people. Governor Josh Green said Wednesday that he instructed the state attorney general to work towards a moratorium on land transactions in Lahaina, even as he acknowledged the move would likely face legal challenges. "My intention from start to finish is to make sure that no one is victimized from a land grab," Green said at a news conference. "People are right now traumatized. Please do not approach them with an offer to buy their land. Do not approach their families saying they'll be much better off if they make a deal, because we are not going to allow it." End quote. Since flames consumed much of Lahaina just over a week ago, locals have feared that a rebuilt town could become even more oriented towards wealthy visitors, according to Lahaina native Richie Palele. "Hotels and condos that we can't afford to live in, that's what we're afraid of," he said Saturday at a shelter for evacuees. As the death toll rose to 111 on Wednesday, the head of the Maui Emergency Management Agency defended not sounding sirens during the fire. Hawaii has what it touts as the largest system of outdoor alert sirens in the world, created after a 1946 tsunami that killed more than 150 on the Big Island. "We were afraid that people would have gone mauka," said agency administrator Herman Endea, using a navigational term that could mean toward the mountains or inland in Hawaiian. If that was the case, they would have gone into the fire. Avery Dagagupin, whose family home was destroyed, said he's angry that residents weren't given an earlier warning to get out. He pointed to an announcement by Maui Mayor Richard Beeson on August 8th saying that the fire had been contained. That lulled people into a sense of safety and left him just distrusting officials, he said. At the news conference, Green and Beeson bristled when asked about such criticism. "I can't answer why people don't trust people," Beeson said. "The people who were trying to put out these fires lived in those homes. 25 of our firefighters lost their homes. You think they were doing a halfway job?" End quote. The cause of the wildfires, the deadliest in the U.S. in more than a century, is under investigation. But Hawaii is increasingly at risk from disasters, with wildfire raising fastest, according to an Associated Press analysis of FEMA records. As the island begins to think about rebuilding, Green vowed to prevent land grabs. He said that he would announce details of the moratorium by Friday, adding that he also wants to see a long-term moratorium on sales of land that won't benefit local people. Many in Lahaina struggled to afford life in Hawaii before the fire. Statewide, a typical starter home cost over $1 million, while the average renter pays 42% of their income for housing, according to the Forbes housing analysis. That's the highest ratio in the country by a wide margin. The 2020 census found more native Hawaiians living on the mainland than the islands for the first time in history, driven in part by a search for cheaper housing. Green made affordable housing a priority when he entered office in January, appointing a czar for the issue and seeking $1 billion for housing programs. Since the fire, he's also suggested acquiring land in Lahaina for the state to build workforce housing as well as a memorial. Meanwhile, signs of recovery emerged as public schools across Maui opened, welcoming displaced students from Lahaina, and traffic resumed on a major road. Sacred Heart School in Lahaina was destroyed, and Principal Tanada Lolicio said lessons would resume in the coming weeks at another Catholic school. She said it was important for students to be with their friends and teachers and not constantly thinking about the tragedy. "I'm hoping to at least try to get some normalcy or get them into a room where they can continue to learn or just be in another environment where they can take their minds off of that," she said. Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
If you want to speak truth to the masses, make it funny for the classes.